Horror Month continues on the channel. Now, after covering Murder House last week, I thought it only fair to push the boat out and to cover a horror that exploits one of my biggest fears: water. Now, don't worry, I'm not like Asmongold that has a heart attack every time he eats something healthy. I mean the open water, the ocean, that sort of horror. So it only makes sense that the next game that we're covering today is... For Still Wakes the Deep, our job is that on an oil rig, making sure that the electricity is sweet and sound. That is until something mysterious happens that sees the oil rig go from good to bad to unimaginably horrible. From not being able to run for over 10 minutes throughout the entire game, a plethora of collectibles, and some for more risque behaviour, let's say, we certainly have our work cut out for us. So let's waste no time and get straight to the first of 4 playthroughs that it took for me to complete this game. Without further ado, welcome to the Achievement Grind. The game begins with our main man Kaz reading a letter from his wife and kids. A lovely, wholesome start, of course. But it's just another morning here on the rig. Everybody's getting breakfast and ready for the work ahead. God, I hope the first achievement we unlock isn't for us being a colossal weirdo or anything. So this game has some ass on it. Spend 2... Is that really the first achievement I unlock? Oh no! Oh no, you can't! Alright, with that, we are officially on the board. I don't want to be, not like this, but here we are. Thankfully, the rest of the intro goes normally and without man-ass, as we go to the canteen and talk to a couple of the crew, including Roy, who is an absolute legend. And that's not just because he gives us our next achievement already with all beans and forgiveness. The beanie merriment can't continue though, as we are soon called to the boss's office as we have been a bit of a bastard, and we've got into some trouble. And you'll be amazed to know that on the journey, we also unlock yet another achievement for talking to every member of the crew in the intro. Definitely a couple of easy ones to begin with, but trust me, this doesn't last. As for this playthrough as well, we will have to finish the entire game without running for more than 10 minutes in total, which sounds fantastic. A long story short, we go to the boss, he's an asshole who fires us immediately, and we're sent off the rig. God, I sure hope nothing bad happens whilst we're on the way to the helicopter though. I don't like it. Oh.
Jesus, Gregor! Gregor! Get away from the end! Guys! You bad man! Guys! Help me! Guys! Don't let me die! Please! I don't want to die! I don't want to die! Jesus, just hang on!
Oh, please, no! Oh, God, no! Oh, get out! Get out! Thankfully, the crew managed to save us from the ocean, and when we wake up, things don't seem to be in a good state at all. And I'm not just talking about the next achievement, the sickening of the calm. It doesn't take long to realise that something indeed bad has happened, and it's not just a case of equipment problems. Some of the crew are screaming incoherent nonsense, and the further we make our way through the rig, the more we see it cemented. Nothing more than this bizarre organic thing that seems to be wrapping itself around the rig's drill. But don't worry, I'm sure that'll be nothing. The next 10 to 15 minutes serve as the tutorial. Here we learn the basics of movement, including some pretty intense traversal, but nothing too wacky. And it only becomes more clear that the rig is in great danger, if the collapsing around us wasn't enough of a clue to abandon ship. On the way through though, another crewmate, Finley, warns us that we're not the only creature on this part of the rig. With no choice, we push through, only getting a glimpse of the creature and the bodies it's left in its wake. You'll be blessed to know as well, folks, for making it out of engineering in one piece, we also unlock yet another achievement as well. Now folks, I have to admit I'm a bit of a horror snob. I cannot stand games that advertise themselves as horrors and they do nothing other than throw a couple of cheap jump scares at the player. I'm looking at you Until Dawn. But only 30 minutes in this, the atmosphere was already brilliant. The lack of audio made every creak and every broken part of the rig really tense, and I was already invested. And things were only going to get more insane. As we see more of the tendrils and matter taking over the ship, we thankfully bump into Roy, who doesn't seem to really know what's going on. He's just maintaining his bean levels. We've seen enough though, sod all of this, it's time to get to the lifeboats and get the hell out of Dodge. But on the way to the lifeboats, we can see for the first time the capability of what this life form can do. Is that a face?
Jesus.
What in the name? Oh my God, the eye's moving, it's... Oh... Oh, that's not sanitary. I wish I could say that's the worst it gets, but it's not. Not by a long mile. For now, though, we managed to make it to the lifeboats. We nearly died a couple of times as the rig is already becoming scrap around us, but that's not even the worst part. The lifeboats are knackered. The only one that works falls into the ocean, never to be seen again. And the game thinks that giving me the next achievement, Home by Christmas, will make me feel all better about it. Oh, well, wait, actually, yeah, it does. Alright, moving on. With the lifeboats knackered, the only option left is Rennick's helicopter on the pad. It's gonna take some time to get to him, but once we're there, we shall be safe and home at last. Surprisingly, folks, we already have another achievement, as we soon come across an fire that needs extinguishing. So we do exactly that, and apparently that's grounds for celebration, as by doing so, we also unlock Fahrenheit 0451. But we can't go to the pad without Roy. He's our bestest friend, so we need to swing by the canteen again and collect him. The only problem is, in doing so, we finally see firsthand what happens if you get too intimate with the life forms growing around the rig.
Jesus.
What is that? Oh, it's over for us.
Sorry, don't!
And that is just the first of many encounters of the things that we will have to fight through. But we do indeed manage to make it to Roy, who tells us of another immediate problem. He's diabetic and desperately in need of his insulin. He doesn't really have the energy to run for his life right now, so we decide to head to the chopper first and then make a plan to get him from there. This as well is another achievement with Eye on the Needle. The only problem now is to get to the helicopter pad, and to do so we're going to need to cross paths with another one of those creatures, and this one means business.
No, no, no! Help me! Toby!
Yes. Oh my god, look at it move! Come on. Actually, yeah, let's see what happens when you lob something at it.
Go on, Ennis.
We can take that. Oh! Hit a monster with a throwable! Oh, I'm sorry in every way you could possibly imagine. Could you please leave? Somehow we managed to make it past another mutated crewmate, but with that we should be free and safe at last, as we finally make it to the helipad. But it's a horror game, so of course Rennick leaves us behind at the last moment, and it turns out that this was a blessing in disguise, as the helicopter goes down within seconds of taking off. After a short nap we wake up, and that's another achievement with everything breaks. With the last escape route toast, we now need to figure a way off this rig, but it doesn't take long for us to bump into Rennick again. However, this time he's looking a little bit different. That body's gonna get snatched. Yep. You think this is my first horror game? Oh.
Jesus
Bloody.
fucking Christ!
What the hell? That's Rennick! Because we're quicker than the face of Bo, as you would imagine, we managed to escape him after quite a lengthy chase scene. I'm sure that's the last we'll see of him anyway. So moving on with the next achievement as well with I Am the King. Somehow we managed to make it back to engineering, and that's probably a good thing as Finley needs our help once again to get the generator back up and running. Trust that the responsibility always falls on us, but since we are the electrician of the rig, it does make sense unfortunately. By this time as well, the rig's infection has moved into full swing. You can't escape the beautiful root things that are now everywhere, and making our way through this was tense and somewhat beautiful. But it's when we reach the generator room itself we bump into the newest creature hungry for our soup. But honestly, this part is easier than you may think. You have plenty of items to throw and distract the creature, so even though there were a couple of close calls, we were able to do our job with relative ease. You'll be amazed to know, folks, that we already have another achievement, as once we get the generator back up and running, that's another unlock with compression ignition. Now, to escape the room with this creature on the way back, I can't say it's much easier to go unnoticed. Oh, Lord, it really is tense. It truly is awful. Over the next 10 minutes, we're able to crawl our way back to a very important room to flip another switch. No idea what for, something worth doing I hope, but from this we gain our next achievement with Into the Belly of the Beast. At this point in the story, we're not so much focused on how to escape, more so on keeping the rig stable and upright so that we can escape later on. This place is falling apart so quickly, and if we don't help put it right, it'll be under the ocean by the end of the hour. So we continue to work our way through fixing the fires as we can. Now, you may think that we're also going through the achievement achievements quite quickly, and I guess we are. This isn't the longest game in the world, but honestly, I was so invested. The setting was great and tense, the creatures were terrifying and visually amazing, the voice acting is some of the best I have heard in recent years, so even though for a lot of the time we're making our way from point A to point B in horrible circumstances, it's still a lot of fun, and I was keen to see where this goes. The next task we get dealt though is to keep the legs of the rig stable. To do so, we need to descend to the very bottom of the rig and do some engineering stuff to make sure that they don't give out. No idea what we're doing, but it works, so fine by me. During the process though, we get hit with an ungodly amount of water, and it's very realistically difficult to navigate through. So much so that we just outright drown. Not the most ideal thing to happen to us, but we did it for yet another precious unlock. How lucky are we, eh? But unfortunately, we soon find an old friend in a spot of bother, and there's nothing we can do to help him.
Oh, Christ.
Hey, bud.
I can't help you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think I will, thank you. With that, we press on once again. Thankfully, we're able to fix the other leg, so with that, another job is complete, and we've extended our life by a couple of minutes. Lovely. We do get a nice reward for this though, and no, I'm not talking about another achievement. You'd like that, wouldn't you? Nope. On the way up, we get the most beautiful view of the infection taking over the ship. And honestly, this is just a lovely shot and well worth noting. Oh, and we do actually unlock another achievement as well, so yeah, sod it. We get surfacing as well. Back on the surface of the rig once again, we see how fast acting this infection is. Like, the creatures you become, sure, are a bit of a drag, but my lord, you cannot say that this wouldn't be a lovely sight. We also seem to be losing our minds slightly though, which I would say is normal in this situation, but we keep hearing our wife in our head and also in our ears as she constantly rings the rig to call us a bell end. We eventually though make our way to Brody, another hero of the rig that needs our help. We need to relight a flare on the rig that will apparently stop the entire rig exploding at any second. So sure, yeah, pretty certain that needs doing, as not getting blown to pieces is a good thing. Unfortunately though, it won't be that easy, as when we get to it, Adair, the creature from the generator room, has made his triumphant return to kill us. How kind. Even with a couple of tense and close calls though, we do not get grabbed, to mine and, well, everybody's surprise. But this is a horror game, and we are the unluckiest bastard in the ocean. The rig doesn't light as planned, so we need to go down there manually and light the flare. And that isn't going to be easy when Adair chasing us and giving us nowhere to go. Don't like being chased, I hate being chased. No. Oh my god, no.
I'm trying to save us, you stupid fucking bastard.
Oh! Hurry, man, please!
Shit.
Oh, we like that. With this creature now delicious and barbecued, that also unlocks us Beacon in the Dark. And God bless, finally that's one monster that won't be able to give us any more grief, just some perfectly crisped crackling. Now the next achievement came soon after, and it's one of the first ones that make us go out of our way a bit. For the next precious unlock, we need to jump into the water 5 times in 5 different parts of the rig. Actually quite simple. Every time we enter a new area, I would lemming myself off the nearest railing, and thankfully we eventually get the 5 that we need for the next full Fathom 5. The next section for me was the most terrifying of all, as finally we have no choice but to spend some time in the water. After lighting the flare, the only way to get back to the few remaining crew is to travel through engineering again. Only one problem, all of it is pretty much underwater by now. So begins the most tense jazzy that is possible. Water terrifies me, as it's the thought of being attacked from any angle by anything and not being able to see properly. And that's not even mentioning the breathing and drowning aspect. So safe to say, over the next half hour, I was on the edge of my seat as we once again threw ourselves through engineering. Now admittedly, nothing really happens, nothing comes out and grabs you. The most important part is making sure that you're clever with your air supply, as it's quite easy to get lost and drown in this section. But soon we make it through back to the crew cabins, and all we have to show for it is the next achievement we unlocked, treading water. Now not gonna lie, I would have loved to have fought and escaped a creature in this area as well. The only part that I actually wished more happened. So now time to get through accommodation back to the roof to start the next next plan. Now, honestly, this is the coolest part of the infection in my eyes. In every room, you can see the absolutely disgusting mess that has been left, and it is so gross and so cool. And I also love the fact that we constantly go through the same sections of the ship throughout the game, as every time we do, we see how badly things are getting, and every time we expect it to be bad, it just gets worse. On the path to escaping, we also find Roy's insulin, which means hopefully we can save another very important life, but not before taking care of another creature once and for all. Sod this. Stab him in the brain.
I've got to go.
Alright, yeah, you just chill there. I'll be back. With that, we are on the roof, another beautiful shot and another amazing achievement later. Folks, we're somewhat approaching the end of the game now, and I'm extremely curious to see how all this ends. However, first, we bump into yet another friend, and this time, it's pretty heartbreaking.
Roy?
No.
Talk to me, big man. Come on, Roy. Roy, wake up, you prick.
Oh, thank God for that.
Please wake up. Wake up, come on.
Oh,
you bastard. Don't leave me here. Please, big man, come on back. Christ, don't leave me.
inject him. Give him his insulin.
Roy, don't leave me. I can't do this, man. I'm scared, Roy. I'm fucking terrified. What am I going to tell Susan? Wait, what am I going to tell them? Oh, sorry. Your Uncle Roy's not coming home.
God, that scene actually really broke me, and also really cemented that the voice actors earned their pay for this game. Absolutely phenomenal. But unfortunately, Roy isn't with us now, and I don't know if this game's worth playing anymore. We immediately get back to the game and reflect on the friendship we had with Roy as we make another perilous journey across a crane, and yet again see the lengths at which this infection is growing. The next task is to rebalance the rig. All of the rubbish falling off and the infection's weight has made this thing nearly tip into the ocean, so we need to head to fix it, only to be met with another infection. However, this one still seems to have a little bit of humanity left in there, but once again we're able to come through. The rig shifts itself out and we've bought ourselves some more precious time. For now, we just unlock Leviathan and get ready to meet Brody and Finley for the finale. After another horrible underwater section where we have to swim through the crew's cabins, we unlock the next miscellaneous achievement. Now, throughout the game, we have been getting phone calls across the entire ship. For this unlock, we just need to answer the phone every time. Easy in premise, but one or two are actually easily missed. But not for me, as with this last one, we also unlock Clear Down. Now, I can hear you all asking, folks, out of everything that's happened, what happened to Rennick? Where is he? Well, finally, he makes his long-awaited debut return. There it is. I knew it. I fucking knew it. Out all of a sudden. Get off. Oh, sod off. I hope you're death. Jesus. This is crazy. Hey, defeated Rennick! Oh, he drowned! He's dead! Nothing filled me with more pleasure than hearing him beg for his life. If I wasn't underwater, I'd spit on him as well. We finally make it back to Finley, but more bad news greets us. Brody isn't gonna make it. He is trapped on another part of the rig, and yeah, it doesn't seem good at all.
I can't stop it.
Damn.
The rig's a time bomb now. You understand? One spark and...
Get back up here and we'll work it out, yeah?
I can't do that.
What?
I can't get back up.
Wait, no, wait.
I'm sorry.
Wait, listen.
You're on your own now.
I'll come to you. All right?
No, you won't. Can't?
What's stupid? Talk to me.
It's getting higher.
All right, I'm here, Brody.
God.
I'm not going anywhere. All right, I'm here. Brody. Oh, fuck. Brody. Jesus.
With that, out of every single person on the rig, it is just us and Finley left. This is the last straw for Finley, and she officially, and rightly so, loses her mind. Her idea is to use the fact that everything is caked in oil to spark a fire that will hopefully wipe everything out. The monsters, the rig, and us. And again, Brody saying goodbye over the phone knowing he isn't going to make it just broke me. But we don't have time to worry about Brody, we need to chase after Finley and stop her. It takes a second, but we are not the only ones wanting to stop her though, as a crane then collapses and crushes her immediately. With her dying breath, she begs that we light the fire, and we now know that we're not going to make it off this rig alive, and if this disease spreads, it could wipe the planet out. So we are officially the last survivor, and it's time to end this with one last big bang. We grab the lighter and make our way through into the disgusting center of this mess, of course unlocking yet another achievement as well. But this is it folks, we stand on the edge, take a big deep breath, say goodbye to our wife and girls, and with that, we are the hero, and it's all over. The end of the game starts with a small journey over how Kaz met his wife and got the job on the oil rig, and it officially ends with us back in our bedroom. We open the door to go to work and instead find the entire ocean. With that, the game is complete and we unlock 2 more achievements. Still wakes the deep, of course, for finishing the game, and thankfully we also got Walking Simulator for finishing it without running for more than 10 minutes, which honestly I thought I'd failed by a considerable amount. But folks, that still wakes the deep, and honestly easily one of my favourite horror games of recent years, and it excels at what it does. It tells a very good short horror story in a tense atmosphere with amazing characters, voice acting and pacing. It's really hard not to think of this game as pretty damn near perfect. However, we're nowhere near done with the achievements yet, and would the next 3 entire playthroughs of this game taint that opinion as well? Well, let's get to it and collect all of the miscellaneous achievements that still await us. So since I don't want to just repeat myself another couple of times, let's just go through the rest of what we've got to do now. Firstly, a simple one. We just have to visit every cabin in the game. Fortunately, I'd only missed the one casually, so when we started the second playthrough, we fixed that immediately and unlocked Snoop. Now, because we took the first playthrough slow without running, that means we can sprint all we like now. And for the next achievement, we have to perform every action in the game, but fast. Again, only missed a couple casually, so it took us 20 minutes later to unlock Greased Scotsman. Now, earlier when we met the washing machine creature for the first time, there is actually a radio playing in the corner that tells us the weather forecast. We simply have to listen to the full thing. No idea why, but sod it, we do it anyway for sailing by. We then immediately use the lean mechanic for the first time in the entire game and spotted a monster with it, unlocking leaning into it, which was a bit weird because I didn't even know this mechanic existed and played the entire game without it, but hey, still counts. Now, the next achievement, folks, honestly, I have no idea how I was able to pull this off, but we managed to pick up an item, right, and threw it into the ocean. I know, wildly difficult, but somehow we managed for Jet Sam anyway. We then had the audacity to interact with a TV, and since that was the last electrical interaction type, we gained yet another achievement for good with the Lecky, followed rather rapidly by picking up and throwing 50 different items around, from corned beef to hats to cans. We throw it all for look at all this mess. Since we've just been told how good we are with the Lecky, we thought it only fair to show how bad we can be with it as well, and die from every single type of electrical death in the game. But once you know where all of the death spots are exactly, it is easy enough to do for not so good with the Lecky. Next has to be the most insane and bizarre achievement I've collected in a while, and yes, even weirder than the arse unlock we got at the beginning. Whilst in Roy's cabin once again, we have to find a spoon. That's it. We stare at his special spoon and unlock me and my spoon. No idea. I would love to know the reason for it, but hey, I'm not going to ask. Thankfully, folks, in the second run, we also unlock 2 more achievements. The next is another tricky one, and it's for dying in every possible way in the game. Now, I had most of them naturally turns out, but the final one that I was missing was the tendrils that attack you from the crewmates. Apparently, these are separate to dying from the creatures themselves, so with that, Finley destination unlocks, and I always find it weird being rewarded for dying. But again, who cares? The next achievement is for completing the game yet again, only this time, in case you haven't noticed so far, we have done it in the Scottish Gaelic language. And honestly, I understood hee-haw. But it doesn't matter, as we did it for the next Oh, Christ. Yeah, you must be out of your mind if you think I'm pronouncing that. Oh, but with that, we are on the final achievement, and this is the one that broke me very badly. It became such a pain in my ass, and the achievement isn't actually that bad. We have to find and interact with every single reachable dead body in the game. Now, I was certain I should have had this by now, as I did follow a guide, so I thought, I must have missed one, let's just go again, and loaded up playthrough 3. That took me then 3 more hours of going through the same entire game again, only for no achievement to pop. Now, honestly, I thought it was bugged, so I did some research. It turns out that they added a body to the metric after people had already made the guides, so I was missing a single body that wasn't documented anywhere really. When I finally found out, my heart broke. The last body that I needed was next to Finley's, right at the end of the game, which means that I had to play through the entire thing yet again for a single body and the last achievement. Now, I did manage to shave my time down to just over an hour, but God, having to redo it all really did take the wind out my sails. But as you folks can imagine, it was more than worth it, as with the final last bastard body found, with that we unlock the final achievement with body count. And after 4 playthroughs, many jump scares and plenty of pain, we have done it. And this masterpiece is ticked off and complete. But wait, with no more achievements to get, that must surely mean that for now, the grind is over. Still Wakes the Deep. Honestly, I wasn't expecting this to be much of a game, but it is something really special and a game I would heavily suggest everybody give a go. A short and masterfully handled horror experience that doesn't rely on cheap tactics to get its scares. The monsters and the premise are amazing, and it's genuinely frightening when you're being chased by one. The story was simple, but exactly what it needed to be. But by far the way this game excels the most is with its characters and its voice acting. The game truly hits you in the feels, and when something happens and your character reacts to it, it really feels real. So yeah, I really enjoyed this game, as you can tell. And the only negatives that I'm going to be giving it is the fact that there isn't a chap to select. I wish there was, as it would have made cleanup a lot more forgiving. And as I said previously, I wish the underwater section had a mutated creature, or maybe even like a mutated fish. I feel like that would have really completed the story, as it would have been nice to have seen how the organism affected different things that weren't human. But it is still an amazing journey. How amazing? Well, let's find out and get to the stats. For Still Wakes the Deep, it took us just under 13 hours to collect all 37 achievements that come with the game. My rating for the game is going to be a very well-earned and solid 9 out of 10. Now, a point off for the couple of points I've just mentioned, but honestly, do not let this deter you. It is a fantastic horror game, and well worth the 4 to 5 hours playtime that it takes to complete it. It genuinely delivers on so much, and honestly, it was probably the game that came closest to a 10 out of 10 without actually getting there. But a 9 out of 10 is still more than respectable. And for difficulty of the achievements, I am only going to be giving it a 3, which may seem a bit surprising given what I actually had to do for this, but I also was an idiot. And I know full well that I could streamline this into maybe a 7 or an 8 hour grind at absolute most. So it isn't as difficult as unfortunately it was for me, which is why it's only getting a 3. More than doable. But of course that means that the hardest achievement for today is going to be to body count, just because of the pure terror that it gave me. Now, this might not be your most difficult achievement if you go for this personally, but yeah, it sure was mine. But there we go, folks. Thank you all so much once again for watching. I really do appreciate you all being here. Remember to like and subscribe for more achievement grinds and videos in the future. I have got some amazing stuff in the pipeline and some stuff that I cannot wait to show you folks. So I hope you'll stick around to see it all. And of course, I have to give a special shout out to all of the Patreon followers as well. Thank you all so much for the extra support. It means more than you know, and it helps the channel a considerable amount. So yeah, thank you all so much for the help. But once again, folks, that is it from me today. Horror Month will continue, but for now, thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in a future installment of the Achievement Grind. But until then, folks, take care of yourselves, have a fantastic week, and yeah, take care. Bye-bye for now.